5 p.m. Good evening and welcome to Newsbreak on KU 92.7 FM, Benin City. First, the headlines. National Assembly suspends spending of COVID-19 vaccine production funds. Edo teachers insist on continuation of strike action. On today's Extra Voices, our correspondent highlights residents' hurdles while securing national identity number. On entertainment, court admits more evidence in Naira Marley's fraud trial. Details of this and more after this break. I'm Benjamin Kadiri. Now the detail. The National Assembly Joint Committee on Health has asked the Ministry of Health to suspend further action on the plans to utilize the 10 billion naira released to them by the Federal Ministry of Finance to fund the production of COVID-19 vaccines. The committee took the decision on Wednesday following its dissatisfaction with the explanation of the Minister of Health, Osage Haniri, on how the 10 billion naira will be utilized. Chairman Senate Committee on Health, Ibrahim Oloriegbe, said the committee is dissatisfied with the explanation of the minister and has directed that the money should not be spent until the ministry can take clearly what the money will be used for. The Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, says the country's foreign exchange reserves rose from $34.94 billion in November 2020 to $36.23 billion. as at January 21, 2020. The governor of CBN, Godwin Emefiele, said at the January Monetary Policy Committee MPC meeting of the bank, which began on Tuesday, that improvement in crude oil prices contributed to the increase. He added that the Nigerian economy and the global economy had continued to show prospect for recovery from the effects of COVID-19. Emefiele assured of improved economic growth in Nigeria in the first quarter of 2021. The Federal Road Safety Corps, FRSC, said it arrested 456,655 traffic offenders nationwide while committing 507,279 offenses in 2020 as against 629,692 offenders and 703,523 offenses in 2019. The Corps Public Education Officer, BC Kazim, in an interview on Wednesday in Abuja, said the offenders violated different traffic rules and regulations. Kazim said the motorists were arrested for overloading, speeding, speed belt use violation, dangerous driving, road violation, light sign violation, drunk driving, worn out or expired tires, among others. He explained that the Corps successfully conducted a total of 323 mobile court sessions in the year 2020 against 994 in 2019, adding that just a total of 7,375 offenders were prosecuted during the operations. The Edo State wing of Nigeria Union of Teachers says it will continue with the ongoing strike action it started on the 18th of January. This was made known on Wednesday in a communique jointly signed by Chairman of NUT in the state, Pius Okoye-Legbe, and Secretary Moni Mike Modesty Itwa. The State Wing Executive Council met on Tuesday in response to appeal issued to the teachers by the state government. According to the communique, the State Wing Executive Council was convinced that it had earlier allowed the state government 8 weeks to have the issues resolved before commencement of the strike action. The teachers, however, agreed that they were open to dialogue with the state government while strike continues. A Benin High Court's Criminal Court 4 has adjourned a case between Edo State government and Chief Johnson at Selege, 11 others on conspiracy, kidnapping, and murder of Sonny Echie, the Okaigele of Kolokolo community, to 3rd of February 2021. The defendant's offense contravened sections 516, 327 and 316 subsection 2, punishable under section 319 of 1 of the Criminal Code Act, Cap C38, Laws of Federal Republic of Nigeria 2004, punishable under section 3 of the Kidnapping Prohibition Amendment Law 2013 of Edo State. Speaking to newsmen after the sitting, Barrister Matthew Edagesi, who led the applicant's legal team, said the judge adjourned the case following absence of the principal witness who reportedly took ill. Barrister Edagesi is expectant that the witness would have been recovered before the adjourned date. The All Progressives Congress APC has suspended the governorship aspirant in Ondo State, Jumoke Anifowoshe, with immediate effect. The spokesperson of the party in the state, Alex Kalijai, confirmed her suspension on Wednesday. Her suspension was contained in a letter signed by 25 out of the 29 officers of the party at a meeting in Igboruku Unit 1, Ward 2, Owo local government area of the state. She said she was said to have been suspended for alleged anti-party activities and for not making any contribution to the development of the party. The letter also stated that she has not been attending party meetings in the last 4 years. Anifowoshe, who was a governorship aspirant in the last election in Ondo State, is also the daughter of the first civilian governor of the state, Chief Adekunle Ajasin. Coming up in a moment on our Extra Voices, amidst fear of coronavirus and the plea that people should shun large gatherings, some Edo residents have continued to gather at the National Identity Management Office in Benin to get their national identity number, NIN. Details in a moment.
Ever-evolving world of news, one story becomes extinct the moment another major story breaks.
Market women don't know whether they be need to.
But with KUFM's Extra Voices, the story never dies. It just takes on a new life.
Market there's no water in the house. The toilet is not good.
We don't have any fashion in APC.
We bring you new angles and fresh perspectives to every story, no matter how old or remote.
There are a lot of educated people that are involved in politics nowadays.
We go a little beyond the surface to get you those extra details ignored in the rush for the news.
Now bridge, now we take the enters now.
Some don't die for inside.
We go beyond the lines to bring extra voices, not just for those making the stories.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
But for those affected by the stories.
I've lost one bag of rice, documents.
So it's a real disaster.
With Extra Voices, we add new flavor to give fresh perspective and taste to an old story. Extra Voices airs every Wednesday and weekends on KUFM's major news bulletins.
Some residents of Benin City have been subjected to hard times in an effort to secure their national identity number. Some have witnessed the first daylight at National Identity Management Commission's office. Some spent hours during the day under the scorching sun without result, while others have to pay their way through. Today's edition of Extra Voices highlights sacrifices by Edo residents in their struggle to secure a national identity number.
Since the federal government announced that all SIM cards registered in Nigeria must be linked to the national identity numbers of the owners or risks being blocked, the offices of the National Identity Management Commission across the country have become a mecca of some sort. The announcement was a wake-up call to millions of Nigerians who had never registered in the first place. Hundreds of people would throng the various offices of the Commission and registration centers In Benin, they need to register, reprint, or verify their numbers before sharing with their network providers.
She's around 400 a year.
But by the time we entered it was a tug of war. Since I stayed here, I have not seen a number of people that are captured. I don't know what is wrong with the workers or the machine. I don't know what is the problem. Is it the machine or the number of workers? If they don't have a number of workers, they should employ people. Since 6 elderly men have been seated. I have never seen 2 or 3 people they have captured.
We are students. We want to write down. We ask for our NI. They should assist students now. We have been here since last week. Last 2 weeks, my dad came here. My mom has done now. After they should assist students.
When Extra Voices visited NIMC Benin's office at PZ Road, Saple Road, it was a chaotic scene with an unprecedented crowd.
Nothing. We just say here. Now so we see them so that government go know what they will do with concerning us, because we not be animals. When we go just do something like that, so they beat us. No food, nothing.
Some have alleged that NIMC officials are taking kickbacks from citizens to facilitate their registration.
When I go immigration, they collect money to the door. They can say for free. Some 6,000, some 5,000, 3,000. To the door.
But the allegation was debunked by the unit chairman of the Association of Senior Civil Servants NIMC office, Comrade Sunday Iduegbo.
If that person can prove it, call me. I will follow you to that very center, and then we'll go and meet that person and find out from the person, why did you collect this money from this person? Because you are not supposed to collect any money from anybody for you to render your service. The service is free.
Happening at the time when the concern about the second wave is high. What happens to social distance rule and other COVID-19 protocols?
They say coronavirus day. For election, people gather, they don't say coronavirus day. Now people stay here now. As it say COVID-19 day, so as we gather for here, so people never carry virus now. But this guy won't gather. Number 2, we call here this morning that they flock somebody I get so for number where they won't give her. They carry some enter inside. Say, may they use partiality to give them. Be better. No, they go buy fuel.
The Minister of Communication and Digital Economy, Dr. Isa Ali Bantami, has approved the extension of the deadline on the ongoing need SIM integration by a period of 3 weeks, 30th December 2020 to 19th January 2021 for subscribers with the National Identification Number NIN, and 6 weeks beginning from 30th December 2020 to 19th February 2021 for subscribers without the NIN. Similarly, the Joint Admission and Matriculation Board JAMB has made NIN a registration criteria, but with over 50 million SIM cards yet to be registered in Nigeria, it remains the third dream to register and link this number of those yet to be registered within the deadline given by the federal government. For KUFM's Extra Voices, Leredum Asagwaram.
Coming up in a moment in our entertainment news, court admits more evidence in Naira Marley's fraud trial. Details in a moment after this break. You're still on to News Break on K92.7 FM. On entertainment, a federal high court sitting in Lagos State has admitted more exhibits and evidence in the ongoing trial of hip-hop singer Aziz Fashola, popularly known as Naira Marley. Justice Nicholas Oweibo, in his ruling on Wednesday, admitted the compact disc containing the phone analysis of the singer tendered in evidence by the second prosecution witness Anosike Augustine, on the ground that the iPhone which was analyzed has been admitted in evidence before. The judge overruled the objection of Naira Marley's counsel, Olalikon Ojo San, and admitted the CD in evidence marked Exhibit F. The trial of the case could not proceed because the defense counsel, Olalikon Ojo, was not in court and sought an adjournment. Justice Oweibo adjourned the further trial to 8th and 11th of March 2021. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, had on May 20, 2019, arraigned Naira Marley on 11 counts of money laundering and internet fraud. And lastly, Nollywood actor Ernest Asuzu is dead. The news of his death was confirmed by his wife, Jennifer Asuzu. Jennifer told journalists that Asuzu fainted on Tuesday evening and never woke up. However, his remains are on the way to the east for funeral rites. Ernest Asuzu began his acting career in the 90s and rose to prominence after he started in the 1997 Nollywood classic, Rituals. He was the toast of Nollywood until his career nosedived after he came down with a stroke in 2015 and it affected his speech. He was also bedridden for 3 years. And that's the news, but before we go, a quick recap of the headlines.